EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Now the kicker, that's Cameron Dicker, set to get us started. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Now Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Has a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
A first down carry for Henry. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That really sets him back. A loss of 6.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. Here's Jackson to throw. A short one there, caught by Likely. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd and 9 here. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
Underneath here to Hill. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
From the 34-yard line, here's a 2nd down and 9. Oh, and they sent the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay. So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hit 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
Play action. Now Jackson on target to his man, likely. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback, as everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there, because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have one.
Not ideal there. That delay of game backs them up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on third down. Throwing is Jackson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up fourth down.
They converted twice on third down that drive already, but couldn't make it a third. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And his kick is good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
On first down, it's Hampton. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Out of the gun, Herbert. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Now this incomplete, and I don't see any flags coming out. He was clearly in the pocket, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, and that brings up 4th down. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That one complete to Hill. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and that brings up third and a full 10 yards.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up a screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
Facing fourth down, Baltimore will punt. Jordan Stout out there. Back deep for L.A. is Darius Davis. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return, and it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. Hampton. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now it's Herbert. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. Jackson now. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. After the turnover, here's Herbert. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Here's Herbert. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Charger first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
They'll run on first down. It's Hampton, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Herbert off of play action. Open man here is Conklin. Call it a gain of a yard, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
And his kick here is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. They'll try the right side with Henry. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They go play action now. Jackson. That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Justin Herbert looking to pass. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by the linebacker Kyle Van Noy. And the Ravens will take over here just shy of the 30. In motion left, Flowers. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. Stuffing him behind the line there. That's Dayon Henley. Really nice play. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
The offense on third down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now Jackson will look to throw it. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
To throw is Jackson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Jackson. Dancing to his left. And they'll get this down to the 10. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a first down himself.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
2nd and 6 with the ball on the 7. First carry now for Justice Hill. And a little bit of space there. Takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. They'll come out in the pistol. On 3rd down, Henry. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh sent on the field goal unit. Less than an extra point attempt here. This is an 18-yarder. And his kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So 3 points on the board. As easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
So all field goals so far, 6-3 our score as the kick is away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, It's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Here's 2nd and 10. Herbert now. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
On first down, Hampton, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Hampton, and he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Here's Herbert. That's into the hands of the rookie from Ole Miss. Through the middle of the field, and he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there. 54 yards. And the Chargers have moved out in front. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Now a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Henry. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 4 of 7. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it. Here's Hill. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And the Chargers offense back out and ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route, and he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
A shotgun snap for Herbert. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the marker and picked up the 1st down.
To the air again, Herbert. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now a handoff up the middle. Hampton, and running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 3rd and 10. Herbert. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the 1st half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
From the 29, here's a 2nd and 4. Here's Jackson to throw. On the slant, DeAndre Hopkins. The quick slant, good for 8 and a 1st.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. He finds Bateman over the middle. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And Jackson throwing once more. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now it's Jackson. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it second down. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Jackson. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Throwing is Jackson. Looking middle, and that's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And I think he just wanted to give the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Here's 2nd and 2 now from the 3. Here's Jackson. And he's got it. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Chargers going to take over here one more time before the half. 1 second, all that remains. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. The final shot before the break for Herbert. Now a deep one for Johnston. And this will be caught at the 30. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the 3rd quarter. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Chargers getting ready to go here to start this 3rd quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Hampton. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now it's Herbert. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Kyle Hamilton running up from his safety spot and earning the sack. I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, with talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the third quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get them going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the second half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game.
That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Jackson now. A check down here for Henry. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
2 yards to go, 2nd down. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 46 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
They keep it with Henry on 1st down. Deion Henley there on the tackle.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
They'll run straight ahead with Hill. And he'll go down at the 28. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the 1st down. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a 2nd down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Hill diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Jackson here, he's going to look to throw. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
A third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. L.A. readies for its next possession. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Adafe Owe showing off the pass rush skills.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Here's Herbert. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They run the option on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down. A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get, so he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Off the option, here's Henry. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. 60 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
But we tend to give those running backs that are slashers a lot of credit, but how about guys who are maulers? Because that's what you want in short yardage situations, and we just saw that occur right there, didn't we?
Vertical, downhill running. Now it's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. The tight end in motion right. From the gun, Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Now Jackson. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Bottom line is that he is just something else as a runner, because there are not many QBs in this league who can rip off a game that big, and he did it with the defense giving him a little extra attention after he hit him on a run earlier this series.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henry. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
After the penalty, it's Henry. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Jackson. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh sent on the field goal unit. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And his kick is indeed good, and they have regained the lead. Another drive bogs down, but for the 4th time, they're able to escape with 3 points.
And this last one gives them the lead, so that's a good thing. And they've needed every one of these field goals, but it has to feel good to them to know that confidence is there. If we do bog down, they'll give us 3 points.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
They'll run on 1st down. Hampton, a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. 2nd down coming up. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Hampton. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing them this drive going.
One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. On first down, Hampton. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. First carry for Najee Harris. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Back to throw here, Herbert. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 27-yard line. 12 yards on 3rd down as the drive rolls on.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Over the middle and caught by McConkey. And the Chargers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. Here's a handoff out of the gun. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now Herbert off the bootleg. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's in for a Charger touchdown from 4 yards out. And the Chargers have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. This has definitely been a back-and-forth affair, and now they have the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up the field goal on that last drive, as we remember, but it felt like their offense told them, don't worry about it. We've got your backs. We'll come back with a touchdown of our own, and they did.
And this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. They now trail by 7 after that last touchdown here in the fourth quarter. What a big spot for this offense. See if they can cobble something together on this drive. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Pretty straightforward play there by the linebacker. He saw the run, went with straight-ahead pursuit, and dumped him behind the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. In motion left, Flowers. He's going to handle it on the touch pass. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 8. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards, the final tally.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Quick throw into the hands of Hopkins out wide. No gain on the play. And it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. They go play action with Jackson. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
Kudos for the defense from me on that one, because they were prepared the whole way for him to try to escape and hit them for more yardage running it. I like the way they stayed zeroed in on him and kept him contained when he pulled the ball down. I think he was fortunate to get what he did on that run.
To throw is Jackson. And that is incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point: get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
And good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. He gets it complete to Harris. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself, because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Hampton, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They'll come up now 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. That is caught, and he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Herbert. To the left side, he's got McConkey. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. To the air again, Herbert. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. Herbert now. That one complete to McConkey. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that brings up third and a full 10 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Here's Herbert. He finds his man, complete. That's Hampton. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first.
Yeah, and on third down, you know those pass rushers, they're in the starter's block. They're just waiting for the pistol to fire. You can almost hear the defensive coaches on the sideline pre-snap. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Really good job there of identifying it and making the play to force fourth down.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to perhaps salt this one away. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. Well, now how about this return? And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down by 10. A minute 52 to play. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery, but first things first. 1st and 10. Throwing, Jackson. They set up the screen to Hill.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. You know, the running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
And this is into the hands of Andrews downfield. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Jackson to throw. Finds his man over the middle. It's likely. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's 2nd down and 3. Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 29 yards. And the Ravens have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
So they got their touchdown, now down a field goal. Here comes the onside kick. And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. The risk-reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Victory formation time for the Chargers. They take a knee. Herbert to a knee, and that should just about write it into this one.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Baltimore, good night, everybody.